Good Monday evening, and thank you for joining us for this DigiCast. We are live streaming on Facebook, the WTOC.com website, Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. I want to start out with the fact that we have a Hurricane Hunter plane right now flying over Florence, and guess where it flew out of? Yeah, the Mighty 8, not the Mighty 8, the 165th. You can see that track flying out of there in Garden City Pooler, and it is making its second pass, recording wind speeds outside of the center of rotation, 77 mile per hour. So that's not a Category 4 storm, but that's its first pass and its first drop zone. They drop that into the storm and it gathers data like that and sends it back to the plane. But the pressure is incredibly low at 939 millibars. Let's get to some comments. Wow, we've almost got more than 700 viewers right now. And I just wanted to say hi and a couple of, there is no 8 o'clock update, sweetie, okay? The 8 o'clock update does not come until there are watches and warnings issued for land. So from now until watches and warnings are issued, and that's probably going to be, let's see, 48 hours out. That could possibly be tomorrow. You'll get those updates more frequently. So we're only going to get an 11 o'clock update tonight, tomorrow 5 a.m., 11 a.m., 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. Okay, so there is no 8 o'clock update. Hi Ryan Bolin, how are you? I bet your wife misses working at WTOC with all this excitement. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of forego the haze and hi, how are yous? We got a lot of people watching, almost 1,000 people watching. So how you doing? And watching from Rincon, awesome. So that's what our Hurricane Hunters are doing right now. Very proud that they're flying out of the 165th near the airport. Let's go ahead and just talk about the very latest 140 mile per hour winds. It's almost going to be a Cat 5. We're talking about 155 mile per hour winds. 156 is a Category 5. So that's very concerning, and we are expecting a landfall Thursday evening, very early Friday, that could be a Cat 4. So this is going to be catastrophic for anyone who's living along the the South Carolina coastline through North Carolina. We do not have a real idea of exact landfall, and usually only exact landfalls are near guesses when it comes to this several days out. We're still 4 days out, and so continuing to monitor that. But notice the spaghetti plots, okay? Even though there's a margin of error for the cone of uncertainty, the spaghetti plots are taking this storm well north of the coastal empire and low country, okay? So I know a lot of you are saying, what if it doesn't turn? What if it doesn't do this? You know, these spaghetti plots start to really tighten up and really come into agreements this close out. It's riding that high ridge of pressure, okay? We talked about following that curve. Now, it didn't take the turn well out east of Bermuda, but is still following high pressure that's sitting along and outside of our coastline. And the problem is with the squigglies right here, it doesn't mean it's going to change route. It's going to sit and stay. So that's why, hang on, we'll go back here. That's why you see a bubble right here. I mean, we're talking about more than a foot of rain coming into Raleigh. We're talking about possibly a foot of rain anywhere in South Carolina, and almost a 20-foot storm surge is what the National Weather Service was talking about as I had a conference call with them at 11 o'clock this morning. Okay, is it safe to say Georgia is safe? I'm going to go ahead and say that at this juncture, Georgia is safe, all right? At this juncture. Things can change, all right? I have to say that. Anything can change with weather. We're talking about a fluid atmosphere, all right? We're talking about, you know, predicting ocean and atmospheric science. So, I mean, those are two combined, all right? So lots of factors, lots of mitigating factors. Things can change, but right now, Georgia is safe, and a large part of the low country is safe, all right? I think the governor went ahead and made that call this afternoon out of an abundance of caution because he's concerned, as a lot of citizens are, that it won't take that turn, okay? So that's all I'm talking about as far as evacuation, because that's up to our state, Georgia and South Carolina, and local governments to take care of, okay? All right, so Sissy Mujica, I'm not answering all the questions. A south turn is highly unlikely. A straight west turn, which would be Charleston, is sort of possible, but a south turn, highly unlikely, okay? How long will it sit there, Michelle wants to know. So here we are into Friday and Saturday, making landfall Thursday night, and Saturday, it's still a tropical depression. A foot of rain. And if you start talking about the mountainous areas of Virginia, it's the freshwater flooding, not the inundation from the storm surge, which could possibly up to be 20 feet storm surge where it makes landfall. 20-foot storm surge, incredible storm surge. And then you're talking about more than a foot of rain and possibly even more at this point in some locations, okay, in that area. So hoping to get some rain out of this. Rob, not likely. Sissy Mujica wants to know the storm surge for Beaufort County. We're not predicting storm surge for Beaufort County. High surf, a coastal flood advisory is in effect every night because of the moon. We're in a new moon cycle. And with the swells being a little bit, so you're going to see the seawall at Henry C. Waters Chamber Park maybe getting up there. The Savannah River, I don't think we're having anything to worry about, but there is a coastal flood advisory due to that fact alone because of increased swells, but not so much storm surge, all right? I do not think you're going to see scenes like river. It's not going to be like that, okay? Do you actually have to leave during a mandatory evacuation? I didn't leave during Floyd. A mandatory evacuation means if anything bad happens, first responders are not liable to come and help you, okay? And if Beaufort local government decides, and they have not decided this yet, to go ahead and reverse 278 and 21, then you cannot get back in if you leave. They have not made that decision yet. So I know a lot of people had questions about the Talmadge Bridge and can I go from, Beaufort to Bluffton, et cetera, et cetera. You can still move freely throughout the county, okay? All right, I know there's a lot of questions, you guys, and I'm trying to, what about Hampton? Hampton County. Okay, so let's go into a little bit, and I'll go past the spaghetti plots once again. Let's go into rainfall as we head into Friday at 11 o'clock. Incredibly low. Do you see this yellow up here? That's more than 8 inches Friday. Look at the rainfall here. The thing is that we're going to be pulling in drier air, and that's actually going to go out to sea and pull in to the hurricane. This is Thursday, Friday rainfall predictions. This is the European model rainfall prediction, okay? So if you get any rain, it will be from a local thunderstorm. It will enhanced by Florence's juiciness, okay? It's going to have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. Our precipitable water, that's how much moisture is in the atmosphere. It's called PWAT. That may be on the higher end scale. So if we do have a thunderstorm anywhere in the coastal empire and low country, we say that during a regular summertime thunderstorm, all bets are off. You can have higher rainfall. But this is Thursday through Friday, 11 o'clock. So we are not going to be greatly impacted by rain. Let me go through here. And I don't have Hampton in here, but this is Jasper, Hampton, Beaufort, Hilton Head, okay? Love you, Hampton. Just don't have a plot here because your county doesn't have a rainfall. I do have a temperature plot, but not a rainfall plot, okay? Let's go into the winds. And I know this doesn't look like a lot. Do you see the wind field for Florence? Hurricane winds do not extend out to the low country nor Savannah. So if you are living south of I-16, you have nothing to worry about. You may see some wind gusts, 15, 20. The higher wind gusts will be in the low country, but if I say max tropical storm wind gusts, and that's 39 mile per hour wind gusts, that is the max that we could possibly see on this current track in the low country, Hampton, Jasper, and Beaufort. Now, if you're living on Hilton Head, it's usually windier there anyway, so a 39 mile per hour wind gust, not unheard of, but that is tropical storm wind gusts, okay? And so this stops Thursday. All right, let me take some questions. Here we go. Juiciness. It's I mean, if I said P-Watt, that sounds weird too. Are we going to have wind? No. No, Connie. Hey, how are you? All right, so Savannah safe. Yes, yes. Saturday, fine. Saturday's fine. All right. If this flow change, I understand what you're saying, Maya, and I agree. Let's see. What about Beaufort? I hope you saw the Beaufort comment, Sharika. If this hits Charleston, no. Oh, if it hits Charleston, yes. Yes, it will have a greater impact because it will be closer. I don't have those trajectories because everything that I just showed you is based on either the American model or the European model. If this starts tracking south, yes, not south, not turning south, but if it continues on a westerly track, we will be more impacted if Charleston took a direct hit. Obviously, because Charleston is closer to us, we would most likely have some hurricane wind gusts. But I can't say that right now. I'm going off of the National Hurricane Center, the European model, the American model. Okay, so we're going off of data that is ingested by 3 different sources, and everything points to minimal impacts for Savannah South, Statesboro, and the Low Country. Okay, all right. What about Chatham County? Okay, cool. What about the Savannah Port? I haven't heard anything about that. Swainsboro is good. Swainsboro is fine comparatively to anybody. I mean, you might get a thunderstorm, but Swainsboro is fine. Sherry Moody Jowers wants to know about Cherry Point. I appreciate you joining us from Cherry Point, but I got to keep it local for these, okay? Don't be sad, but that is true. All right, I'm gonna keep going. Eddie, I can't. It's up to state and local governments to determine evacuations. And I'm going to leave it at that, and hopefully things change. So, we do have 3 hurricanes right now, other than Florence, and I know everybody wants to talk about Florence. Where will Isaac go? Isaac has a possibility of impacting portions of the Lesser Antilles with a Category 1 storm. And then as it moves south of Hispaniola, it loses its steam. It's going to encounter some wind shear. We really need to track this if this tries to make it into the Gulf. That could be interesting. And then Hurricane Helene, all models point to it being a fish storm. But I said that 9 days before Florence, that Florence was going to be a fish storm. So anything's possible. So this is a current track for Helene, okay? Excuse me. Let's talk about our day-to-day forecast going into Tuesday. Tuesday morning, looking good. Tuesday afternoon, a spotty shower 1 o'clock. Sea breeze comes in, showers and storms 5 o'clock, lingering into the 9 o'clock hour, maybe in our far western communities. Listen, Ludowici got hammered today, all right, because of that juicy atmosphere. I'm going to use the term juicy again. Wednesday, possibly some earlier showers at noon, Savannah South all the way to Brunswick along I-95, moving inland, and we could still have some moisture left over at 9 o'clock. But did you see any big waves and swirls and whatnot? No. So the next 2 days we will not have a irregular forecast. And I'll tell you what, these are our forecast highs. The only thing about our forecast that may seem irregular is the fact when a major storm is set to make landfall somewhere north of us, north of Charleston right now, anywhere between there and through North Carolina. The weirdest thing to say is that we only have a 20% chance of showers and storms on Thursday and Friday. It's the truth. I'll show you. Hang on for a second. And this is a long-range model. It is our hurricane model. Whoops, that's wrong. Hang on. Let me go back. Sorry, guys. What's going to happen is we're going to start to bring in dry air to the north of us. And so it's going to be a weird, breezy day for us as a hurricane makes landfall north of us right now. Okay? Let me take some more questions. And let me go back. Okay? And I just wanted to make sure that you guys see our rainfall totals possibly for Friday. This is past landfall. This is 11 o'clock Friday with the rainiest area being Beaufort at less than 1/10 of an inch. This is Thursday through Friday. However, if we do have an isolated thunderstorm, because Thursday and Friday we're forecasting 20% chance of showers and storms. If you get a storm in your area, we may have some heavier rainfall, okay? I wanted to show you the spaghetti plots once again. And yes, there's a possibility it may turn, but with so many being so tight like this, this is what the National Hurricane Center is honing in on, all right? And so we're talking about a foot of rain, but anything Charleston south, very light rainfall. And the windiest part of our forecast track is going to be in the low country, with nothing over tropical storm force winds. So maybe 39-mile-per-hour wind gusts, Hampton, Ridgeland, Hardeeville, Beaufort, Hilton Head, and that's maxing it out. So I just wanted to be straight about that. What about South Georgia? When you say South Georgia, you mean like Waycross? It will be, you won't really, maybe a 20-mile-per-hour wind gust. You won't really know that a hurricane is making landfall. All right. No, Andy, you will not have any wind like Matthew in Guyton, okay? And that's about it. I know, what about Patsy Roberts? What about Statesboro? Maybe a 25-mile-per-hour wind gust here and there, but that's on the high end, okay? And then the rainfall is very limited with this. With us being, okay, when it makes landfall, with us being on the southwest side of the storm, north, east, south, and west, right here, us, southwest, we are on the less severe side of the storm, all right? And that means less severity as far as tornadoes, because you know the northeast quadrant, that's the bad part. And we are looking at less rain and not that much wind, all right? So everything tends to be on the right side of the storm, especially with a large hurricane making landfall like this. I thought there were 4. I don't know what I said. 4 quadrants. So we're in the southwest. Hope I didn't say that wrong. Just the drier, no. It just means, it's just a dry slot. Excuse me. It's still going to be humid. It's a dry slot. It's just a slot of nothing happening, okay? So it does not mean drier air. It's still going to be very humid. All right, cool. I'm going to wrap this up. And some people think they are water. And we're good. No, it will not make a dry. It's a dry slot. It's just an area where it doesn't rain. I should have clarified that. It's a dry slot. It's not lower humidities or lower relative humidity or lower dew points. Okay, that's what counts with humidity, dew points and dang it, I can't, dew points and relative humidity. Sorry about that. All right, and I'm done. Thank you for joining. It's 9:21. I need to work on Augusta. We are on WFXG, and you can always go back. And if you have any questions, you can also reach out to me on my page at WTOC Jamie. Good night.